Mafia, are you ready?
He said, "Are you ready?"
This is Brotherly Love Wrestling Podcast, your first stop for everything professional wrestling. So sit back and enjoy wrestling talk at its finest with your hosts, Larry Hall and Joe Corrado.
Welcome, everybody, to Brotherly Love Wrestling, and this is the face-off before final battle. Today, our guests, we have the pure champion from Ring of Honor, Josh Woods, and we have the Mecca, Brian Johnson, the challenger for that title this Saturday at Final Battle. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming back, both of you returning guests.
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Always good to see you guys. Hey, Brian.
I guess we'll just get right to this.
Yeah.
Before Brian looks like he's about to explode.
Yeah.
Or does he?
That's Brian's happy face.
Listen, if I got to be on the line with Josh Woods, I'm not going to sit here and share pleasantries. He's a jackass. We're here to talk about Final Battle. Let's go.
All right, Larry.
All right, so
Yeah,
guys,
you ever heard of upholding honor, dude? All right. Try that. Try being honorable. There's a little bit of pleasantries that involve in it, all right, buddy? Just a little.
That's a good way to start. So, Brian, how do you bring honor to that title if you win it? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to make it different, special? Because I know that's probably what.
Well, the problem is that title's been represented for one way the entire time. There's these set of rules or views that the foundation had that they think that pure wrestling and wrestling in general should be wrestled one way. That sounds like a cult. I don't know. To me, a bunch of weirdos that probably got picked on their whole damn life, so now they have to make wrestling one way that only they're good at. Yeah, all right. No, what I'm going to do is bring the professional back in pro wrestling. While the pure rules and the way that Josh and the foundation see them fit is one way for sure, and it's successful. I can't knock it, right? John Gresham might be the best technical wrestler in the world. There's no arguing that. Josh is the current pure champion. He's a dumbass, but he's a champion. But I just look at the rules in a different way. So if anything, it's just like, shut up, Josh, I'm talking. What I bring to the table is a different way of looking at pro wrestling. And I think the more that people have opened their eyes and opened their ears to what I'm saying and what I'm doing, they're jumping aboard this Mecca locomotive.
so Josh, you being the current champion and coming out, if you do retain on Saturday, coming out of this, how do you turn this, because you're fairly new as champion, how do you turn this and make this title reign and enhance that title even more than it already is?
Yeah, I mean, it's John Gresham left some pretty big shoes to fill. He's a phenomenal champion, and I'm not John Gresham by any means. So I'm gonna bring like my own flavor. I think this past year has been like a really great showcase of the things that I can do, and that's just a glimpse of the skill set that I have. And I've probably forgotten more things than most people know. So I think kind of doing things similar to John, just in my own way, where pure wrestling used to be regarded as one of the best forms of wrestling, and it kind of got sidetracked and pushed to the side, but it's back in the forefront, and there's not just one way to win things. There's multiple ways to come out on top, and being like a submission specialist that I am, I can pull things out from anywhere, standing, sitting, on my back, so I'm not really worried about a different way.
Get used to being on your back, Josh.
Well, in jiu-jitsu, Brian, that's a good place to be in. So yeah, sure.
Never trained for it. Don't care. This is pro wrestling.
Yeah, well, your skill set will be significantly diminished because you don't have a plethora of knowledge. You have one style. You're a pro wrestler. You're one-dimensional like most of the other people in this business. You're not good at anything else but just pro wrestling. You lack
Josh,
a lot.
the last thing you have is a plethora of knowledge. Come on.
Okay, well, that's not true. You want to be mean, it's fine.
So the latest promo that you had made, Brian, you admitted that Josh is very good at what he does. How do you combat that in the ring?
Well, if I sat here and gave you the answers on how I plan on beating Josh, that wouldn't be that smart, would it? You should buy the pay-per-view.
Maybe I'll go there in person.
I don't want to see you, so I prefer you keep your distance.
Well, I'm going to be in the
However-
second row, so you're going to have to.
Yes, you have no choice.
That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
I look forward to seeing you.
But going up against Josh, he's clearly got a strength advantage on me, right? And he's got some grappling history. So I'll have a game plan, and it'll be executed to perfection, like I have been. I've been on a roll since I got to the pure division.
And a lot of
Undefeated.
wrestling skills over you too, by the way. It was a national championship, All-American, All-American.
It's going to be so much more embarrassing now, Josh, when I beat you.
Is this a first time ever matchup?
No.
No?
Oh, that's right, Brian. It's not what happened in our last match.
Before I got to the place that I'm at in my career, I was some jackass wearing a robe.
Nothing's changed. You just
And,
don't wear a robe now. You're a jackass.
I had a different mindset of pro wrestling, and Josh was able to get barely a victory over me once on Ring of Honor television.
Well, that is, to, albeit very rude, his credit. Brian is correct. Like, he has gone, since then, he's gone on a hot streak. He's become better at everything he's been doing. Josh, I mean, you can't deny that. How do you?
Not at all.
This is going to be a new matchup. It might not be a first time ever matchup, but this is going to be a new matchup. You're going to see a new Brian Johnson. I mean, how do you prepare for something like that? How do you prepare? Like, if I'll use a sports reference, the underdog team that comes in hot can sometimes win it all. I mean, how do you stop momentum?
First of all, when was that? 2018, Brian? 2019?
2018, I believe, maybe 2000. Why does it matter?
So if Brian Johnson has gotten so much better since 2000, let's say 18, just for argument's sake, well, I've definitely gotten better since then. So you can't say that Brian's the one that's improving this. And yeah, of course, Brian's coming off a couple wins against a couple of nobodies. He won a gauntlet, the last person, because LSG had already beaten 3 other people, and that's fine. I'm not going to take that away from Brian. Great job. I watched the match. It was awesome. Bend the rules, don't break them. I like your motto. But yeah, you're not the only person that has momentum. I dethroned Jonathan Gresham. I've done things this year that most people have never done in their career. I beat Silas Young in a last man standing match. No one else in Ring of Honor history has ever done that. I beat Jay Lethal in a Pure Rules match. I pinned Jay Briscoe. I've beaten Kenny King. I've beaten Silas Dalton. I mean, what have you done, man, to even earn this opportunity?
Well, I'd like to point out, guys, that Josh Woods, our pure champion representing this company, he's right. He's the guy. He just said that I beat a bunch of nobodies. I'll read off the names. PJ Black, who I beat, nobody, by the word of Josh Woods, not me. And former Ring of Honor pure champion John Walters, also a nobody in the book of Josh Woods. He said it, not me.
That's it. You got nothing else?
Just pointing out how ignorant you are to this business, Josh. I've trained for this damn day my entire freaking life. You were picked off a mat like every other bozo. You're talented. I'll never take that from you. If this was just on talent, if it was on paper, you'd recycle my ass. I get it, Josh. No problem. You're the athlete. You're the prime pick. Vegas is probably making you a favorite if they were betting on it. But I've trained my whole damn life for this, and now you're gonna mock the way that I got there, saying I beat nobody's 2 legends of our wrestling game. This proves you're a complete Nimrod. Next question.
So because you sit and you watch wrestling all day, you didn't go out and train or do anything else, you think that makes you better? You preparing your whole life by watching film? Brian, man, you can't get experience by watching film. You got to actually do things. While you might have been sitting in your room or in a dark little basement in your parents' house, man, watching things. I was out wrestling in tournaments. I was competing. I've been an athlete my whole life, man. So you think because you've watched stuff and you have a little bit of knowledge of the business, that's cool, man. Congratulations. But that doesn't really translate over, dude. You still have to be able to do the things that you're watching to try to emulate them. It's damn near impossible. So for on paper, damn right, I'm gonna wipe the floor with you, Brian, because I've been doing this my whole life, not just preparing, but I've been doing it. I've won titles. I've been in front of big crowds. I've won big matches, man. So yeah, you've beaten some great guys in the past, Brian, sure. And I talked a little bit down that. Why? Because, you know, we're here talking shit. That's fine. But you haven't really done anything spectacular, man. Like, I think you're great. I think you've improved a lot, man, but you haven't improved enough. And that's what's going to make the difference.
We'll prove it on December 11th, my friend.
God, I hope, man. I hope you bring a better version of you than what I've seen in the past. I hope so.
All right. So before this gets any more hostile, this is the end of an era. This pay-per-view is basically it. We don't know. Us as fans, as people that host random podcasts, we don't know what's in for Ring of Honor. I mean, this could be the last hurrah of Ring of Honor for all we know. I mean,
At least as we know it.
as we know it. I mean, to go out on top, what does that mean to each of you? To go out as could possibly be the last pure champion.
Go ahead, Brian.
I think that everybody that's a wrestling fan and that's been a wrestling fan for the last 20 years or so knows the brand Ring of Honor. They know the name, they know the handshake, they know the pure rules, they know the wrestling style. And that name has been brought to every promotion across the world, in every major promotion across the world, and has really highlighted some of the biggest moments in wrestling history. So as it comes to an end of an era of sorts, like you said, we don't know if it's end forever or end for now, whatever it may be. The fact that it's coming to an end, it means this final event, final battle, will be talked about for ages. And to be involved in the match that this company is essentially branded after, the Pure Championship, the championship you won't find anywhere else. And if you do, it's just a duplicate of ours. It's not half as good. And I get to do it against one of the best athletes to lace up a pair of boots in our company, Josh Woods. If I was to sit here and say he was talentless, I would be lying. If I was to call him intelligent, I would also be lying. But the fact that I get to go into the, without a doubt, biggest pay-per-view on the most important wrestling company in the last 20 years and go at it for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, it's the biggest moment of my life. That's how I feel.
Josh?
Man, it almost hurts me to agree with Brian. Like I don't like to do it, but you know, when you're right, you're right. Doesn't happen often, but yeah, Ring of Honor has had a hand in probably, it still does in every promotion out there. From, I mean, you can't even. What's that? You can't even really place how many people Ring of Honor has actually influenced or helped like be where they are. And like every company has benefited from Ring of Honor, and that's a fact. And if this is actually the end of an era, if this is the end of Ring of Honor, as we know it, yeah, I mean, going out on top and being the last pure champion in the history is phenomenal. And you know, regardless of what I think about Brian, you know, for laughs and jokes' sakes, there are very few people I would actually like to have this opportunity to put the title on line against. And you know, yeah, we can sit here and crack jokes. We can talk smack to each other, which is fine. But Brian is one of the few guys I respect a lot in this locker room, regardless of. Yeah, see, if you're jumpy at a dog, just imagine what happens in the ring. Yeah, I don't see it going any other way than me walking out the pure champion just like I walked in. So that's how I feel about that.
My apologies for the vicious beast that I house. If the wind blows loud enough, he'll rip its face off, as you just heard.
That's all right. Your dog frightened another dog, and we had a battle of the dogs. That's
This
all right.
dog will strike fear in anything. Trust me.
So, guys, we took a couple questions on social media. So we have two. We have one for each of you guys, if you don't mind.
What if I did mind?
I mean, you could tell us.
You can say no, then I'll just.
No, I'll answer them. I was just curious what the other option was.
Yeah, no, I won't force you guys to do anything you don't want to do. So it's up to you.
I mean, it's not
I'm
really
already
that,
here. You're right.
yeah, it's not really that much to ask.
No, I mean,
You're such a negative person. Like, who loves you? Who hurt you, Brian? Like, who hurt you to make you be this way?
Ask the damn question.
all right. So
That's the
Brian,
question.
Brian, I'll start with you. This one was for you. It's from Craig Nash on Twitter. He wants to know where the Mecca plans to defend the title first, and is there a specific opponent or promotion you look to bring it to after you win on Saturday?
What kind of name is Craig Nash? Jackass. Sounds
Kevin's
like an
long
alias.
lost cousin.
Sounds like a bad cop or something. I don't know, some dork. Anyway, where am I going to defend it first? I don't know. Maybe in the parking lot of the UMBC Event Center if someone pisses me off. I have no idea where I plan to defend it next. I definitely have shows lined up in 2022, and you can bet your ass if I'm already on the show and I show up with the pure title, I'm going to put it on the line. So you can check out promotions like MCW, On Point Wrestling, and other such places beyond. I'm going to be whooping Trisha Dora's ass over there next week or this week, Thursday, right before nice little warm up before Josh. And then, so wherever this locomotive can touch down will be where I defend it. And wherever that promotion is immediately the best promotion in the country.
All right. So, Josh, we got one for you. This is from Scott Rand on Twitter. And he asked that you and Brian are roughly around the same age, and you have a little bit more weight on you than Brian does.
A fat joke?
Yeah. But
You didn't word that well.
I didn't. He's got some experience on you when it comes to the wrestling business. What will you use to your advantage to combat that?
Well, Brian, yes, he may have more pro wrestling experience. So if you put it in the grand scheme of things, we'll use these little hands. These will be pro wrestling knowledge, okay? Brian may have that. And I guess I'll be just a little bit less because can't really say who has more. If you're doing it longer with the less quality, then is your time really better or is it shorter? So if anything, Brian can be here. I'll be like right there, which is a little smaller. But then I have, let's see, I started wrestling in 2000. So then I have like amateur experience. And then I've been doing jiu-jitsu and MMA and Muay Thai since 2011. So then I think that moves me over here. So then if my skill set is this little bar and then Brian's is this little bar, well, there's a lot of bar left that Brian doesn't have. So that's how I'll combat that little teeny weeny bitty gap between pro wrestling skills that we have.
I was going to point out about how dumb of a question that was, because it didn't even sound like it was a question. It sounded like it was two statements. And then that jackass went on that soliloquy and lost as any listener we have. Can we please move on?
Yeah, I think we have the gist, and I think we know what we're in for come Saturday at Final Battle, End of an Era. I mean, I think, personally speaking, this is one of the matches I look forward to most because of the pure title being involved in two wrestlers that don't necessarily have the same style, but completely different attitudes. I mean, it's a recipe for disaster and fun, and I like that. Now, if anything you guys want to say is your final words, final statement, your final battle cry, go ahead, please. The floor is yours. Don't roll your eyes at me there, Mecca.
I know how much you love to talk, Brian, so go ahead. The floor is yours, buddy.
I think it's tough to put 20 years of history into one night. And I wasn't there for all 20, right? I get that. But the magnitude of this match is the sum of 20 years. And as a kid who grew up loving pro wrestling, to be able to be a part of that is fucking awesome. But Josh might have to kill me to make sure I don't leave there with that pure championship, because I can't imagine a way that I don't achieve what I've always wanted to do. And that's to say that I am one freaking incredible pro wrestler. And you prove that by winning titles like the Pure Championship on huge stages like Final Battle against credible opponents like Josh Woods. But come Saturday, whether he's credible, whether he's the goods, whether he's a top prospect, whether he's down to fight, I'm going to freaking embarrass you, Josh, and whoop your ass. And I'm going to be the next and the last Ring of Honor Pure Champion.
Josh?
Man, I just hope you hit as hard as you talk, man, because if not, you are going to be so fucked that there is nobody in that whole arena that will save you from the destruction that will be bestowed upon you by me, Brian. Like, everyone gets one, man. Like, just one, dude. And I hope yours is really good, because you're going to need it, Brian. And you know, being the last Pure Champion, if this is the last Final Battle in Ring of Honor history, there's no way in hell, as long as I have air in my lungs, that you will beat me and that you will be the last Pure Champion. Pure Wrestling was built for guys like me, Brian, right? I've been Pure Wrestling my whole life. This is something you just started doing, all right? So there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to walk out of there with this title. No doubt.
Well, guys, thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us, taking the time. We really appreciate it. And we can't wait for the event. We can't wait for Final Battle, all the matches, especially your match. We will be there, second row from the ring. We cannot wait to come down and see it. And we hope that everyone, if you can't make it and can't buy tickets, buy the pay-per-view, watch Final Battle, because this is an event we have a feeling is going to be something you're not going to want to miss. So thanks again, guys. Really appreciate it, and have a good night.
Thank you, guys. You as well. See you guys at the show.
Get bent.